Fuck, today's a good day, people. It's the day off, so I don't have work, so we're up at prime 10:50 in the morning. I got a doctor's appointment coming up in the next few hours, but I got enough time to record a video and yap while the house is quiet. So I'm gonna abuse that privilege that I have here. Woke up rather anxious this morning. I don't really want to delve into it, but I'm feeling optimistic for today though, even with the anxiety included. Last night I ended up while I was editing that video, I ended up taking right now it's the 14th, so God knows when I'm gonna fucking upload this. I might upload it tonight, maybe a few days down the line, who knows. I ended up getting a bunch of video topics I wrote down. I thought would be interesting to talk about. Some things that I can talk about personally from experience. On top of that, things that I feel like I could yap about for a while. I'm also probably gonna try to keep the video shorter. All right. So yesterday we played the Giant. We made it to like what round 42, 45. That wasn't too bad. I don't really have any other maps that I have decent strats on besides like Verruct. I have a decent strat on Verruct, but that requires a lot of brain power, and I'm trying to be casual today. So I think what we're gonna do is we're either gonna go Kino or Ascension. I think we're gonna go Kino because Ascension I'll last for a goddamn millennia, and I kind of don't want to. We're gonna go Kino. We'll go Kino, and I'll pick up strats on other maps at some points in time. Today we're kind of gonna talk about two topics. I'm gonna kind of merge them into one because they do, in my opinion, go hand in hand. It's being happy, just like overall finding happiness and being happy alone, like outside of relationships, and that kind of shit. This guy needs to shut the fuck up. Oh, my game's also not picking up any audio, because why would it? There we go. Now you guys can hear the game. Beautiful. I feel like they kind of go hand in hand. Finding friends that are actually right for you, which is something that has taken me up until recent to actually find those kind of people that I want in my life. On top of that, being able to find happiness by yourself, like not relying on others to seek to reach happiness and to be content. Like 2020 me, dude, like I would be so drowned in anxiety that I'd probably be crying to myself in the fucking like shower. But I'm not right now. Right now I'm being productive and I'm making a video. I'm keeping myself up because I've taken the time to forge my life for myself. I found hobbies that genuinely interest me and make me passionate about what I'm doing. And I think passion is a very important thing to be happy in life. Like for example, when I was in high school, I didn't really have shit going for me other than the fact that I played video games. I did Halo Clans. So Halo Clans was really my only passion, besides for also relationships. And relationships, that's a two-way street. That requires somebody else, and that requires a really good chemistry. So you can't really force that, you know? Me being an anxious person, a very anxious person with an anxious attachment style, that wasn't healthy for me. So if I was outside of a relationship, I just felt lonely, which, you know, I still feel nowadays. I still have that loneliness inside of me. But this is where it also goes hand in hand with having friends. Having friends, you know, I'm trying not to zigzag too much in between topics. I'm trying to keep it concise. So we'll come back to the overall idea of being happy. We'll just come to the idea of like friends. I think friends are important to being happy, and not just having people that like you can sit there and laugh with, but people who are really there for you. And it took me a while to actually find those kind of people, and as of recent I've only actually started trying. You know, I've had a few friends, like, you know, the ZPG, the Zero Play Gang, Cuddle and Deontay. Like those two people have always been there for me. Apologies for my fucking inability to talking in fucking tongues over here. They've always been there for me since like fucking day one, you know. Obviously, like, we've matured more, so they've been like we've become closer and closer over the years. But outside of those guys, I didn't really have anybody, and having like one or two people to go to for your problems can be a bit taxing, especially when like that's not exactly what they signed up for. Not that your friends wouldn't want to help you with your issues. I know if I call up either one of them two, they're going to be there for me through and through, but over time it's like it does become taxing. And maybe just because, like, the boy who cried wolf, if you're feeling sad all the time, it's like, all right, well, he's sad again. So I think it is kind of important to have more than one friend. That way you can also get more opinions on a matter. You don't have to like rely on one person. You get more opinions on the matter, which is really important. So there's not like echo chamber going on. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. My point is, like, in terms of making those friends, I feel like it's very misconstrued nowadays. It's also going to tie into being yourself, because a lot of people, especially in like high school, I'm assuming people who are watching this video are probably like around my age, like 20, maybe younger, maybe a little bit older. But like kind of like step one to making really good friends and lifelong friends is being yourself and being honest. But being yourself really matters because this also applies to relationships, but we're just talking about kind of mainly platonic ones right now. This does tie into romantic relationships too, because you want someone to be invested in you in a romantic relationship and not something else. We'll get into that topic another time. But when it comes to making friends, you don't want to like put up this play that you're some like really cool and very secure guy if, you know, you might have some insecurities. And this kind of also boils down to honesty and being real with how you feel about one another. I feel like I'm really running in circles here. I'll give an example. There's a coworker that I used to work with at holy fuck, I'm about to die. I used to work with, and me and him, we would joke around a lot, and I act very immature around that guy. I act very immature in general, and I don't really tend to act mature. I mean, like, I'm a very mature person when the time calls for it, but, you know, like, sometimes, you know, it's nice to not have that really rambunctious, childlike sense of humor to you. And sometimes people just want to have, like, a genuine, serious conversation about how life is. And with this coworker, you know, it was always like, oh my God, let's talk about how silly Trump's voice is. And we'll do Trump impressions and fucking be idiots, right? I want that max ammo. All right, this isn't going really well for me. I'm gonna grab the Argus. But literally just the other day, I was like, well, I really enjoy this guy's company. He seems like a cool dude. Seems to like really value being himself, which is someone that I also want to be with. I want to be with. That sounded gay. That's somebody that I want in my life. I want people who are real, people who are gonna like not play it up or hold back how they feel about things. They're just gonna be honest about themselves, because I feel like honesty is the best policy with anything, even if it hurts a little bit. With this guy, he's just genuinely himself all the time. So I was like, hey man, would you like, hey, bro, let me grab your number, no homo. Let's like be friends. You know, let's talk. And I talked to him for hours, like after work, after we got off work. I have texted him and it's like, we're just talking about life. And it's really weird to see people in that light. But then like just that day, I went from somebody who was just kind of like funny at work that I laughed with is now somebody who I am able to confidently confide in my emotions. And I feel like a lot of people, the reason why they don't really get that far is they're afraid of coming off as weak, and it's some sort of like macho show. Like, I'm losing my masculinity if I admit that there's problems in my life. And if I admit that in some aspects I'm not better than you, then I might be seen as less than, and that devalues me. Because let's be honest here, you know, a lot of times nowadays, guys are valued by just like what they have. You know, that's an unfortunate thing, but I feel like the way it should be is you're valued by how well you care for one another. You know, I feel like there's a lot of things that can add value to a person to subtract value from a person. Also, this Argus is fucking growing on me, dude. Holy shit. Hipfire machine. I don't really have a strat for this map, so we're just gonna kind of hope for the best. I know there's a strat in the alley, but I don't like the top drop from the alley, so I'm not gonna fuck with that really. Back on topic, but I feel like a lot of people are, especially in like the younger audience, are just really self-conscious about being judged for how they feel and not being taken seriously and being embarrassed by how they feel and the fact that they're not always okay. And they don't want to reach out for that. But the times where you find your closest friends is when you guys are at your lowest and you go through those really hard times with one another. That's why so many relationships are built through like trauma bonding, is because you guys experience such a horrible experience, and that kind of like bonds you. It's like we've been through something mutual that other people haven't been. But in this case with friendships, it's like you have been through a lot and you have been there for one another, and it gives you the opportunity, if you open up and you say, hey, I'm not okay, this is what's going on, I would like to talk about it. Or if you offer, in this case, a lot of time people won't ask, so in this case you have to offer. It's like, hey man, how are you? And genuinely check in. And that opens up the door for a deeper connection with that person, building you more stable friendships, more people that you can go to in times of grief and doubt. And when you're just overall sad, no fucking way. I got speed cola or stamina first hit. Wow. That kind of stuff's really important. And yeah, it takes a bit of vulnerability because it can be embarrassing, but at the same time, it's like, would you rather like pretend to be okay for the rest of your life, or would you rather pretend to be okay to keep someone in your life, or would you rather be honest with yourself and take the chance of finding an even better friend by just opening up? I don't know if that makes sense. I think that makes sense. You do like build a really deep connection after that. Like after you open up, it's like, hey man, I'm not okay, this is what's going on in my life and I'm in a really tough spot, and those guys are there for you. guys or girls or whomever, and they're there for you, it really proves to you it's like, this guy is worthy of my time and this is somebody I should respect, you know. And also, don't reach out to somebody if like they genuinely like make you upset, but like if it's not someone that like brings you happiness. Like the reason I reached out to this guy is because I was like, I looked forward to spending time with this dude at work. Like this is a fun fucking dude to be around. So I reached out, I'm like, hey man, and he ended up mentioning that he was like anxious or something like that. Something was bothering him. So I ended up, after I got off work, spoke a bit on like through texting. I was like, hey man, you mentioned something was bothering you earlier. What was it? Like if you feel comfortable talking about it, I am more than welcome to listen. No pressure, no obligation to talk. And he ended up like, telling me it's like, oh, it's just like this and this. I'm just afraid of the expenses of it. I'm like, oh, that's understandable. And now we're just a little bit closer. We had a really deep conversation that I feel like a lot of guys don't really have nowadays. We don't really like to get too serious about life until we're kind of in the gutter of things, But for me personally, I like talking about those deep topics. I feel like the deeper topics is really what connects people nowadays. It's those deeper topics. It shows you an aspect of an individual that not a whole lot of people get to see. And it's the real person, you get to hear their real opinions, and not on like a political topic where it's so passionately like spoken of. Yes, I want this. You get to hear about it in a fashion that is like, this is what I went through and I want to tell you my story. So I guess moral of the story here is, if you want some pretty good fucking friends, you just really have to be the one that's willing to kind of open that barrier, because sometimes people won't. And it's because they're in the same shoes that you're in. It's like, this is kind of awkward. Just be like, hey man, can I get your number? Like, that's really awkward. The guy should have said, is like, so like, are you hitting on me? Are you gay? Like, not to be like rude, but like, it's either that or you're some really confident straight guy. I'm like, I guess I'm a really confident straight guy. But in reality, I was kind of anxious about it. I contemplated asking that guy. It's like, hey bro, we should be friends. Like I contemplated that, because that's something like, that seems childish to some people. To me, that almost feels a little bit childish. But in reality, I just made a really good friend from that. Me over here coping with being gay, probably, right? Someone's gonna say that. That's what my friends would say. You're just coping with being gay. But oh my god, dude, this is so much fun. Holy fuck, this sniper. Going kind of back to the topic of just being happy in life, friends is a big thing. On top of that is like family connection. Family connection is a big thing that is also really important. And some people have it, some people don't. My friend is like really deeply connected with their family, and I respect that. And honestly, I'm envious of it. And I've slowly become more and more confident, at least as a man, with like, approaching and being more vulnerable, because I'm always worried about like seeming like some fucking weak little pussy, right? But now that I'm getting older, I just kind of don't give a fuck anymore. I don't really care what people think about me. But with like happiness, I feel I relate to this a lot with like finding kind of like your sense of self and finding out who you are. And what the fuck? Hello?
Hello, am I speaking with Austin?
That would be me.
Yes, sir. My name is Mr. Benedetti. I'm on a recorded line this morning calling you in regards to the warranty you have for the...
That guy wouldn't take no for a fucking answer. Holy shit. That guy was fucking relentless. I respect the grind. I respect it. But true happiness, I think true happiness probably, if I had to like kind of dial it down to a few things, the ability to comfortably be yourself and like accept like where you are and who you are. Not to be like all cringe, like acceptance, but like accepting that like you're not a perfect person and there's plenty that's fucked up and wrong with you, but that's okay, Having a life of your own, like passions and hobbies. I think that's important. I think that's very important. We're gonna grab that actually. Having passions and hobbies of your own, I think, is very important as well to like be happy in life. And of course, friends, having a support system. You want to make sure you have a really good support system. And just always like having a mindset of like where you can grow. Like I feel like that also kind of goes with like self-acceptance of not like accepting like this is where I am, this is where I'm always going to be, but just knowing where you're at and not being delusional about it. Some people try to be like, oh, I'm the greatest in relationships, or oh, I'm the best at this game, or I'm the best at this, or I'm the hardest fucking worker in the world. Well, if you take a look at it in reality, you're not going to grow if you have that mindset. You have to look at things from like, at least in my opinion, like a critical standpoint of what could I be doing better? And that gives you a passion of what you can grow on. And then there's like hobbies, like for example, YouTube for me, or the gym. Roller skating. I love roller skating and ice skating and whatnot, and just hanging out with friends, shooting the shit. I like playing my guitar. I suck ass at it, but I try my best. There's a lot of things I really enjoy doing, but I found those things by stepping out of my comfort zone and figuring that out. Like, I wouldn't have known I liked roller skating if I didn't try it. I wouldn't have known I enjoyed going to the gym until I left fucking Planet Fitness and went to a real one and actually like attempted going, you know? I think also this isn't 100% dial in, but I think a healthy diet can also help as well, because a healthy diet just makes you feel better. Like, it really does. Like, when I eat healthy food, bro, I feel like great. And not even like healthy in the sense of like you have to eat chicken and rice every single day, but just like eating shit that isn't like garbage fast food, man. Like all the time, I'm talking about. Like, okay, I'm kind of cooked here. No, I'm not, because I'm him. Oh my god, I'm him. Oh my god, I'm him. Yeah, to like find hobbies like that and to find friends like that, it's all about stepping out of your comfort zone, if we're being real here. Like, you have to be willing to put yourself out there to find these things. This applies to pretty much everything in life. Like, everything's like a risk and reward. You have to take a risk of being a little out of your uncomfortable, a little vulnerable, to be able to get something special out of something that you want, like to find that hobby that you're really into, to find that passion. You have passions out there. There are plenty of things that you will love to do, and you can even find a career off that. Like, I fucking love cars, and I thought I was gonna be a mechanic, and I tried that. I went to mechanic school and I learned it wasn't for me, but I'm glad I went and tried to figure out it wasn't for me, rather than never trying and never knowing, right? Like, sure, it might, especially like in your 20s, like, this is at our age, this is the time to fuck up and realize that we don't like things, rather than when we're 30 and we have kids and there's a bunch of stakes on the line, a bunch of people that it affects other than us. So if you're gonna take any risks, man, take them now, because you probably have a really good or not a really good support system, but you probably have some sort of system behind you, assuming you're not like 20 living on your own. And in that case, I don't know how you do that, because I don't. I'm gonna probably live with my parents for a while. I'll probably be like fucking 25 before I move out, and that's if I don't know, I might not even do that, who knows. But I'm also very comfortable with my family, so like I'm not like in a rush to get out of the house. The only thing that would make it nice to be out of the house is the fact that I get to have my own living space. I get to dictate what goes where, and you know, like, I don't know, like, you get to have a little bit of pride behind it. I'm very prideful about my living space. So, but just having a sense of identity and knowing like what you are, who you are, what you like, what you stand for, the rights and wrongs, your friends, like all that kind of compiles together to make you who you are. And I think what you truly find who you are, that is where happiness truly comes from. Sure, it's nice to have a support system as well, but you should also have the ability to like confide in yourself, confide to figure out your issues alone as well. Like, you shouldn't fully rely on people. You should have a backup plan in regard, not like a backup plan like expecting things are going to fall through, but like sometimes your friends might not have the ability to like talk to you or something like that, or maybe it's like really late and you don't want to wake them up. Like, you have to have the ability to kind of like get yourself through that as well, otherwise you're going to be so dependent that you can't live on your own. You can't be self-sustaining in any regard, and I don't think that really leads to happiness. At least it wouldn't make me happy. It would make me really anxious and upset if I couldn't. I mean, it did, because there was a point in time where I could not figure out any problems on my own. I had to have other people talk me through those issues, and sure, I knew what the right and wrong choice was at the time, but I was still so anxious to admit that I had to have somebody else admit it for me. This also kind of ties into deciding who shouldn't be your friend, because sometimes it can be hard to cut shit off, or like tell somebody, it's like, hey man, you're kind of a dick and I don't think I want to be friends with you, or something like that. And that can be hard to like admit. Hold on, let me get my thoughts wrapped up. I'm not exactly sure how I should word this or what I'm saying. I know what I want to say, but I'm not sure how to word it. So just give me like a round or two, and then I'll come back. Oh, and I don't like slow moving games. What the fuck was that, dude? That was loud. I don't give a fuck about you, TurboTax. Jesus, what the fuck? Ow, I just got a paper cut. God damn it, dude. I'm all over the place. Fuck. I also need to put some jelly on my fucking lips, man. My Accutane's appointment today, bro. I'm so excited to like possibly get off this shit. Oh my god. My back acne was the only reason I was ever really wanting on it, because I had such bad like cystic back acne that like I literally couldn't do barbell squats because it would hurt so goddamn bad. And like, dude, if I went to the gym, like my acne would explode. Like, it would like pump up and it would be like painful. It was so bad, dude. It was miserable. I guess what I was trying to say earlier is that there's just some, like, sure, happiness comes from, like, you know, like, having friends is really important to, like, being happy. And finding those friends can be a bit of a struggle, sure. I don't think it's as much of a struggle as people let on it to be, because just a lot of people, I feel like, don't try very hard out of just, like, the oddness of it being like, hey, I want to be your friend. That can be a bit odd to say, but there's some people that are willing to be your friend that probably shouldn't be. There are plenty of people. There was somebody that I dated where she knew one person in particular who, at the time, I was wrong, but this person didn't seem very healthy for them, because like that person just like made them feel anxious all the time. And you should have friends that don't put you down. You should have friends that lift you up. Now, granted, don't mistake being put down as somebody who's just calling you out on your shit, because I think friends are also comfortable enough to call you out on your bullshit. And you have to be one that's also willing to do that, vice versa, because that's how you build each other. You don't build each other by just saying, oh my god, yes, queen, you're 100% right for that, yes, slay, yep. Like, no, it also comes from, like, my buddy fucking Cuddle. Like, there are countless amount of times where he's just like, dude, what you just did was fucking dumb. What are you talking about? Shut up, dude. Like, lock the fuck in. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Or vice versa. I mean, usually he doesn't really come to me with a whole lot of stuff, so like I don't really get that opportunity. It's important that you have people who can do that, but also do it in a respectful manner, you know? You don't need somebody who just is like, yeah, well, you did that, so you're a fucking idiot. It's like, I don't know, it's always a bit situational. It's up to you to dictate whether or not it's healthy or not. But there's some people that just like, I had a very unhealthy friendship where I was friends with this person, I was getting really close with them, and it just kind of turned really toxic, where he just started doing shit for attention, and he was like causing problems to get attention out of it. For some closer friends of mine, you know exactly who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to name names. This is when I was a young little wee lad. And typically these friendships only really happen when you're on the younger side, when you're like maybe like 15 to like 17. And I feel like you kind of start to grow out of it once you become an adult. Like you kind of realize like, all right, I really want this guy in my life anymore. But if you can get ahead of the storm when you're younger, it helps out a lot, because some people just are not fully mentally there, and they're not willing to admit when they're wrong. And you can't force them to like wake up, in a sense. I don't want to like use the term woke or matrix or anything, but like, it's like, yes, some people just haven't woken the fuck up yet, and they don't understand the concept of like, you know, character growth. They don't want to admit that they have to grow. So whenever you call, like, they will not take any criticism for you. Those are, in my opinion, those aren't people that I really want in my life. Somebody who I can't sit there and be like, hey man, I mean, obviously constructively, not just like being like, dude, that was fucking dumb. I'd be like, hey man, I'm just saying, like, that might have not been the smartest idea. I would have gone about it this way. And like, also, like, you have to be understanding with the way you word it, you know, like understand their situation, the emotions they're going through. But there's a lot that really goes into like it, of course, and there's like upsides and downsides. Sometimes you trade those negatives and you just kind of set them aside because they have so many other good qualities to them. Like, nobody's perfect. Like, dude, fucking Cuddle pisses me off royally sometimes. That guy can be a fucking asshole, but at the same time, he's the realest motherfucker I know. Like, and he'll keep it a $150 with me no matter what. Like, even if I'm in like the worst of the worst, like, he will not lie to me, bro. He will just be like, hey man, you're being a fucking idiot. But at the same time, he's like, he's there for me when I need him, and he's reliable. Sometimes he sends me to voicemail, but that's a decision I make because I know he's a great dude, and I keep him around because I know he's a good fucking guy and he cares about me, and vice versa. And that's up for you to decide if you want to take those downsides of your friends and keep them around for that. That's all up to you. And you can have your other friends help you make those decisions by them giving you input as well. Now, another thing to mention is that when you are giving this input, when you're telling people a whole story, you have to make sure you tell them the whole goddamn story. Because a lot of time we want to bias it or switch to make the other person sound better. No, if you want a genuine response, one that is actually going to help, if you genuinely want to get to the bottom of your problem and you want someone else's opinion, not saying that their opinion is factual and that's the way you have to go, but you have to tell them the full story. Otherwise, they're not going to have the correct context. I used to do this a lot where I'd be like, oh, well, she said this and this and this, and I think she's the one for me. And then there's like just the other day she said, I actually want nothing with you, or like I'm actually gay or something. I don't know, at least something out that's like really crucial that like kind of points towards the obvious answer, because I don't want to be delusional about the idea of it. And I didn't actually want like genuine criticism and advice. Rather, I wanted just some validation for how I was feeling and someone to like feed my delusion so I could remain hopeful. So it's important that you're also honest with how you're speaking to your friends. That goes back to honesty. You want to be honest. Otherwise, you cloud the truth, and when the truth's clouded, you don't actually get the solutions that you want out of the problem. Now, also, when confronting a friend with like an issue, like say for some reason he's just been being a dick and he's not being very, like say you just went through a really hard breakup, or maybe your mom just died or something like that, or you got fired from a job and that's really bothering you, and he's kind of poking fun at it, he's not taking it very seriously. You might need to bring it to him. It's like, hey man, I understand that you're trying to make a joke out of it, but I don't appreciate the way you're talking. It really hurts me. The ability to like properly bring that up is also very important. And if that friend really cares about you, they will sit there and attack that problem as we're trying to solve a problem, and not like I'm defending myself. I don't think any sort of situation like that should be a I have to prove that I'm right and you're wrong. I don't think that should happen at all. I think it should be it should be a situation where the person really cares about you, you really care about them. You're trying to understand the problem and understand why they feel bad. That way you can better combat the issue and not make your friend feel like shit. Or vice versa. You want to understand where they're coming from so you don't take what they're saying the wrong way. Maybe they're saying it in a way and you're just taking something out of context of what they're saying. Like maybe you're chilling with your girlfriend and she's just like really low energy and you're like, fuck dude, I pissed her off. And then you bring it up. It's like, hey, I don't mean to like, you know, I don't want to like worry you or anything, but the way you were acting earlier was like you were really low energy, and that made me feel kind of sad. I thought like maybe I upset you or something. Is everything okay? And if I did something wrong, can we talk about it? You know, rather than being like, why are you acting like this? Because then it feels like you're attacking them. So the way you socially go about these situations is also very important. I'm just keep on fucking rambling. I have a lot to say and a lot of different ways of saying it. So round 27, dude, these rounds are not going by as fast as I'd like them to. I'm kind of aiming for like around 40, maybe kind of the same as last time. If we can make it there, if not, oh well. We have about 45 minutes of gameplay that I have until hell, I might even pause. I might even pause the game in the video and then just come back to it later if it gets too bad. What I do know though is my fucking ICR is not killing as efficiently as it was before. Holy shit, that was satisfying. Yeah, that point in time where you have to like decide like, hey man, this guy's not healthy for me, can be really upsetting too, because it's really hard to let go of friendships that you've put so much time into. Friendships, relationships, some family members unfortunately might even be that way. It can be really unfortunate to have to set something like that and put it away and like cut your losses and move on. But if you go about it the right way and you go about it in an optimistic standpoint, everything will be okay in the end. There are, what, like 7 fucking trillion people on the planet, and you lost 1. And sure, like, the thing that probably makes it the most upsetting is the fact that they knew you to such a deep degree. Like, you have so many shared experiences that you really can't get back, but you can always build new ones with new people. And you do that by, guess what, opening up and getting comfortable again. And, you know, after your trust gets betrayed like that, it can be really difficult to try to, like, rebound and try to open up again. And, you know, that'll take some time. But overall, like, it's not the end of the world. And that's something that I also try to keep in mind majority of the time with relationships. After a relationship ends, I try to keep in mind, like, hey, man, like, okay, I'm fucking cooked here. Wow. I fucking love it when we dead slide. But I try to keep in mind, like, hey, man, the world's not fucking ending. I still have a life, and I still have so many people that love me and support me. So why am I so worried about this, you know? What the fuck am I doing? Holy fuck. All right, well, that was terrifying. Thundergun has drops? What? Yeah, it's just, it's important to know that the world's not ending and that you still have people that care about you. And it's important to build these bridges. And even when you only have like one friend, it's important to get a bunch more as well, you know? It's important to have more than one because, you know, you never know what happens with others. And it's not like you should prepare for the worst, but, you know, you shouldn't have all your chips on like fucking green, you know? Like you should distribute. Can we not fucking dead slide? God damn it. Anyway. You shouldn't have like all your chips in one jar. Like you should spread it out for sure. You should make sure that you properly allocate your resources. It's like when you're investing. Why the fuck are we? What is happening? What the fuck is happening? Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die to the retard nation of the station. Holy shit, I'm about to crash the fuck out. Yeah, it's important that you don't, like, when you're investing in the stock market, if anybody knows anything about that, you don't pour everything into one company, because then if that company falls flat, you're cooked. That's all your money. Same way with like a friendship. If you pour everything into one friendship and you only have one friend, not this saying you can't get really close with one person, but if you only have one like really good friend, then like if something happens to that friend, say like it doesn't even have to be like you guys have a falling out, but it's like, what if that fucking person dies, man? Like, where did your whole support system go? It's gone now. Hey, editing me here. So something I didn't really bring up at the time that I should have brought up is it also adds a lot of pressure onto an individual, like your friend. Like, say you have one best friend, that's all you got. It adds a lot of pressure onto them, and that can put strain on your friendship. Now, granted, some friendships can handle that, but at least in my experience, a lot can't. And when that one person is gone, so they go on a vacation, like you have no friends outside of that. And maybe that's good for you. Maybe you need some time alone. Maybe you don't mind that. But in the event that you want to be hanging out with friends and that friend's not available, it's like then you're just left lonely. And it's important to have more than just one person in your life, which is, yeah, that's why I've been kind of taking the steps I have been now. It's like I want to have more friends than what I had before, and not exactly just that, but I want to make sure I'm really close to them as well. So that's why I've been opening up the way I have been, taking those steps forward to become a more social individual, because I've always been social, but not like emotionally open and available as well. I've kind of kept myself a little cut off, and rather than like being open about how I feel and serious about it, I've been always kind of like goofy and jokey and not so serious about things, and just like used as like a comedic relief, you know, rather than being someone comfortable in the sense of I'm comfortable with going to you to talk about my issues. Always somebody who was like, all right, well, I can go to him for a good time. And sure, I want to be both of those, and I'm still the guy that people go to for a good time to have some fun, but I want to be both. I want to be someone who can have a good time, or like you can call me up and be like, bro, I'm really fucking sad right now. Can I just talk to you? Can we hang out? I'll be like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And we talk about it for like an hour. We talk about your issue, whatever the fuck that is. And then after that, it's like, all right, well, life sucks, am I right? Let's go fucking drink. I don't know. But then we just have a little blast, you know, we have a fun time. I'm not too worried about hitting a high round. I think I'm definitely, for the next video, I'm probably going to come back and find a different strat. That way I can climb the rounds a little faster. So I don't... After a while, it does just get tedious when you don't see that number going up as fast as you'd like it to. Oh my god, we'll get into social media too. Do I do this video? I'll do this video. Social media can also, in my opinion, be a very big killer for emotional happiness, because social media is completely based around showing people what your life is like at the best moments, and maybe sometimes the worst, but you get to completely dictate what people see. And this is why I think physical relationships, like physical platonic relationships, are very important to have, because behind a phone you can make anybody think anything you want about your life. Like, you could fucking take a picture of a Lamborghini. It's like just rented a new ride, and people will think you bought a fucking Lambo. In reality, you just take a picture of some random fucking dude at a car show. And the same thing could apply to great moments. You can make them think that you're a very optimistic and really secure person, but in reality, you're not. And that leads a point of deception that jeopardizes your character and what people expect of you, and adds expectations. And the point I'm getting at here with happiness is we like to compare ourselves to other people to dictate how far along we are. It's not healthy. I think it's important to acknowledge where other people are versus where you are. It allows you to set, you know, like maybe goals of where you want to be versus where you are. And maybe you can look at other people and be like, I used to be there. And it allows you to relate. Now, the unhealthy point is where you expect yourself to be there. And with social media, this happens a lot, where, like, for example, like gym influencers, this happens all the time. Like gym influencers, or maybe like, I don't know, like hot girls on fucking Instagram. Like, they have really like perfected bodies, and they'll put on all this makeup and have perfect lighting to make themselves look fucking gorgeous. Or like guys, they'll look fucking insanely jacked. In reality, they'll be on gear, and they'll have like 13 different fucking nutrition planners, and they'll have an entire life set up to this. And on top of that, it's one picture where they look really fucking good right after hitting a 3-hour session at the gym, and you're gonna expect yourself, it's like, I need to look like that. And you see so many people do that, that you kind of have this expectation in your mind where it's like, I'm nothing compared to this guy, and it makes you feel undervalued. It's like when you say I'm sad and then someone says, yeah, well, my dad just died, so womp womp. You know, it kind of makes you feel like that. It's like, well, I feel good about myself now, but I'm going to go onto the fucking internet and be like, oh, well, this guy is literally massive. Now I don't feel as great anymore because there's somebody out there that's better than me. Which kind of leads me to say that, like, if another thing for happiness is don't compare yourself to others. You can, you can in a healthy regard, in the sense of like, oh, this is the differences between me and him, but don't be like, this guy is better than me, because there's nothing that directly makes someone better than you. Everybody is better and worse at something than somebody else. You know, like there might be a fucking YouTuber that I admire for their drive, but they could also be an emotional wreck behind the camera. They might be like a horrible fucking husband for all I know. Or maybe they're like the best father in the world, but they have the worst work ethic ever known to man. You don't really know 100% what someone's like outside of that social media filter, because they don't allow you to see it, because people don't want you to see it. But in my opinion, those low points are really what define somebody and allow you to decide whether you want that person in your life or not, or whether that person is worth to be admired, is how they deal with that worst, like rock bottom moment. And when people see you at your worst, like that's where you really get to see the real fucking person behind that face mask. Which is why I'm not a huge fan of it. I stepped away from social media for several years after I got out of high school. You know, I got out of high school, I was 17, and I turned 18, 19, and now I'm 20, and I'm just now dipping my toes back into the water, and that's just because of, like, content creation. Like, I got TikTok again. I just deleted that shit because it wasn't making me feel happy. It made me feel depressed. I would see these people that I was really interested in, or people that, like, I thought were kind of cooler than me. I would see them having, like, great lives, and I would compare myself, like, wow, this feels fucking horrible. Majority of it was women for me, unfortunately. Unfortunately to admit, a lot of it was like females. I would see these girls I was attracted to, and I would see like, I really like these people, and now they're like living really happy lives. And that made me upset because I couldn't move on, because I could just open up and see a picture of them and be like, get reminded again. Yeah, social media, it can be a bit mentally taxing for sure, but also it can, bring you together with other people of like-minded interest. It makes it really easy to talk to people socially, especially if you have a like low self-esteem or social like self-esteem. Like if you're not very socially inept, then it can make life a bit easier. It's like a dating app. It's like, why go approach somebody when you can just swipe right on them on a dating app? In some circumstances, it's healthy, and it can, and if it's used correctly, can be very healthy and very beneficial. But in other circumstances, it can get really out of control and make your life even worse than it was before. And it's up to you to dictate whether or not it's healthy for you, and up to you to mediate how often you use it and how you use it, and who you allow to see you on there or whatnot. It's completely up to you to ensure that you handle it healthily, which is a big ask. It can be very difficult to do that, but that's just that's the reality of the situation. Probably gonna play this out for another round or two, and then I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. There you go. Well, I think that's it for me, if I'm being real here. I think I'll kill myself and call it quits. I enjoyed that conversation. I enjoyed making this video a lot. That was a nice topic to talk about. I hope it provided some insight maybe on your life. Maybe it was just some entertainment. Maybe it was something to relate to. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what the next video is about, but I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you for watching once again. If you liked it, please hit that like button. It makes my dopamine feel good. I like seeing the thumb up go one more up. And if you'd liked any of this kind of content that I post, subscribe. I plan on pumping more of this type of shit out, and I'm very optimistic for the future of this channel. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Mwah.